Hey fellas, this is a thief video. This is going to be a baseline for the guild. This is what I expect you to run as a thief in the guild for fractal runs. First off, we're going to start off with the armor and gear, like the war video. Alright, for armor, it's going to be full Zerk, and you're going to be wearing Scholar runes. I'll explain why in a minute. Then for your trinkets, it's going to be full Zerker trinkets, and you can up survivability by adding 2 soldier trinkets. So that'll up your HP to 15,000. You want at least like 14,000 plus to survive some of the hits from higher level mobs like Mossman, Archiviner. They love to one-shot thieves for the most part. And to prevent that, you need a certain HP threshold. I found 14,000 HP to be pretty good. So that's kind of about it for that. Alright, for your weapon sets. Alright, usually you're going to run around with a short bow and sword pistol. Reason for sword pistol is your pistol whip. This is your defiance removal. This hits a shit ton of damage while taking defiance off. Again, we don't rush defiance removal. We're not like, oh, ice bow, and then 3 seconds later another ice bow 5. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do damage, then wait a little bit, then do another one. Poof. So that way that you're the thief, you are able to do your max damage, or continuously doing damage, because the damage gap between headshot, 281 damage for initiative use, versus pistol whip, 3,700 damage and 5 initiative use. That's pretty big. That's like around maybe 15, 17, 20,000 damage difference for almost the same initiative cost. And you do get a sweet little evade out of that and a stun. Okay, next up is going to be Dagger. Alright, all your weapons are going to have, offhand's going to have plus 7% crit chance. See as the pistol and the dagger here offhand. And the main weapons are going to have 5% more damage signets on them. You might want to invest in another pistol for a dual pistol wield. This is for certain stages like Jade Maw draining, and also Dredge, the last boss. You do a short bow and dual pistols since it's a range fight. Alright, next up, let's go to your traits. Alright, so the three core trait lines I use here are Critical Strikes, Deadly Arts, and Trickery. Critical Strikes, your first minor is going to be Keen Observer. When you have 90% HP or higher, you have 5% crit chance. This will help you out get that 100% threshold to almost always crit on the mobs. Alright, next one, minor, or next trait, it's going to be a battle between Side Strike and Flawless Strike. So again, 7% more chance to crit when you're beside or behind a mob, and 7% more damage when your HP is 98% or higher. I'll explain this later. This is pretty good because your HP will almost always be full as a thief. You do have pistol whip, and that will keep your HP almost always full. Next minor trait is going to be Unrelenting Strikes. When you hit a foe whose health is below 90%, you get Fury for 4 seconds. This is almost 100% Fury every 10 seconds. So you have almost a 50% Fury uptime. That's very, 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 very super OP, especially since thieves are a heavy hitting class anyway. So it just adds to your DPS. That could give you like 10,000, maybe 20,000, 40,000 damage per second. Depends. Well, around 30k, so 2 pistol whips. Next one is your Practice Tolerance. Gain ferocity based on your precision. This is basically on the same level as Sundering Strikes. Critical chance, give vulnerability. So either of these would be a good choice. If your team has problems capping vuln or getting vulnerability, I would suggest Sundering Strikes. But since the Ellies, I will put a different bid up for Ellies, but they will have a trait that gives vulnerability on crits anyway. Adding this would help you get towards that 25 vulnerability cap. Practice Tolerance, yeah, it's for a little bit of personal DPS. Not a lot, if you actually look at it. Yeah, 11% more self-critical damage. But if you are putting at least 3 vulnerability on a mob, then you're better off giving Sundering Strikes, because that's overall DPS of the team. That's a lot more than personal DPS. Next one is going to be Ferocious Strikes. Increase critical damage against foes whose health is above the threshold. So for your initial spike, like an ice bow or that first backstab, you will do 10% more damage when the mob is over half HP. That's a lot of big numbers. I will up videos later of Thief with the new traits, but for now, this is just the basic baseline trait setup we expect from Thieves in the Guild. Last but not least, it's going to be certainly Invigorating Precision. This is probably the best trait you can put on a Thief. 15% of your crit damage goes to healing. So if you're hitting a Pistol Whip and you hit 3 mobs for 20,000 damage apiece, you're getting healed 15% of 60,000 damage in those 1.5, 2 seconds of Pistol Whip that you're doing. So basically full HP. That is overpowered as fuck. I'm glad they actually upped that from 8% to 15% a while ago. Next one is a Shepherd's Touch. Stealing inflicts poison. Very good. I'll go into this later. Next one is going to be Mug. Damage and healing on steal. If you are wielding double daggers or dagger pistol, whichever the case, you want to put dagger training. Chance to critical hit, give poison is 33%. This ties into Lotus Poison. Weaken targets when you poison them. So that means whenever you poison a mob, you're giving them weakness for 4 seconds. Weakness is a very, very good debuff condition. That fumble really will save your team. 50% damage of a non-critical hit from the boss. So the difference between taking 14,000 damage or let's say 2,000 damage fumble. That's a very big damage gap. The next one is going to be Revealed Training. If you are on Dagger or have some kind of stealth ability, for example, you have your Blinding Powder or someone blasts your Black Powder, etc. But mostly for Cloak and Dagger with Backstab. So you're getting that plus 200 power from your art attacks. That means you're going to be hitting around 8 to 9,000, maybe 10,000 auto attacks from your dagger. So maybe like, let's say 3,000, 3,000, 7,000, 7,000. That the whole dagger auto attack route chain would hit something like that. That's about 10,000 damage a second. Since it takes 2 seconds to put off 2 full auto attack cycles. Next up is going to be Exposed Weakness. Deal 10% more damage to mobs that have conditions. Now this is freaking awesome because 1, you have Sundering Strikes, which is vulnerability. 2, you have Serpent's Touch, which gives poison. 3, you have Dagger Training, so almost always the mobs will have a condition. And almost always you will be doing 10% more damage. Alright, so the next one is going to be Executioner. Deal 20% more damage to mobs with less than 50% HP. This is again super overpowered. I'm glad that they took this off the same trait line as Invigorating Precision. Now you can steal HP and do damage at the same time. So you're looking at plus 37, plus 40% damage minimum added to a Thieves base damage. So we're looking forward to a lot of big numbers in there in Fractals. Next one is Trickery. Stealing gives you 2 initiative. This recharges your... this is really good for recharging your initiative heavy skills like Pistol Whip, so you can spam that 4th or 5th Pistol Whip. So, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you steal, and then you put off a 5th Pistol Whip. That's about, let's say, if you were doing 25k damage, 22k damage for the first 2 or 3, you're going to be doing like almost 100k damage from 5 Pistol Whips, while taking off 5 Defiance and leaving the enemy vulnerable to your Ice Bow 5, whatever you want to use. Next one is going to be Thrill of the Crime. When you steal, you give Fury, Might, and Swiftness to allies in a radius of 360 for 10 seconds. This is pretty good, especially since a later on trait will recharge stealing by a lot. You can help maintain Fury to the team. That means Ellies don't need a Fury stack more often, or Warriors don't really have to pick up the banner more often and spam that stuff. Next one is Preparedness. Increase maximum initiative by 3. This ties on into your Pistol Whip spamming, your Cloak and Dagger spam, and all the other good stuff. So more initiative, more stuff to do. Next one is going to be Bountiful Theft. Stealing grants you and nearby allies vigor. You rip boons from your targets and give them to allies. So example, a boss has protection for about 20 seconds. Right? You're going to steal and poof, you just give your team protection for 20 seconds. Also, you give vigor for 10 seconds, so that helps maintain vigor to the team. And it adds a very big survivability factor to the team. The radius is pretty low, but again, the only guys who really need the vigor are the warriors and guardians and the thieves, who are literally up there doing up close and personal fighting methods on the boss. Next one is lead attacks. Increase damage by 1% for every tick of initiative. Right now, with the trait line of Trickery, you have 13 initiative. That's 13% more damage. All right, let's look at this. You're doing 10% more damage to conditioned foes. You're doing plus 13% more damage because you have full initiative. You also have plus 10% damage to foes who are 50% HP or higher, and you also have plus 7% damage to foes 90% or lower. You also have your Scholar Runes. So you're looking at almost, I think, 50%, 60%, almost 70-ish % more damage. Think about using an ice bow with these traits. You are doing at least 55% more damage to mobs with your first ice bow spike. If you factor in 25 might and 25 vulnerability, you should be hitting around 7,000 to 8,000 damage per ice bow ticks. Maybe 6,000 plus, I don't know. I haven't done the math. I haven't really freaking tested the build out. But that is a lot of damage modifiers for a thief. Alright, last but not least, it's going to be Sleight of Hand. I know that Quick Pockets seems like a better choice because you get 3 initiative on Switch, but Sleight of Hand, you do recharge your stealing 20%. That means you can spam stealing, you can spam your steal every 20 seconds. So every 20 seconds you're stealing 2 boons from a mob. You're giving a second of Daze, which is also a Defiance removal. You're giving 10 seconds of Fury, Might, Swiftness, and Vigor to the team every 20 seconds. And you're getting an extra 2 initiative every 20 seconds. Not to mention an extra 2,000 heal every 20 seconds. And whatever F skill that, that steal comes with. So it's pretty much, these are the traits for Thief, the baseline we expect. I did look at the other trait lines. You are going to be switching between Trickery and Shadow Arts. Shadow Arts for certain things that require stealth skips or require like a second longer of stealth, like Dredge and the control panel. Alright, let's go on to your utilities. Your Signet of Malice is always going to be your healing skill, added with a Signet of Agility because we do need that precision. Dagger Storm is going to be your elite. This ties on later with Smokescreen for really good blinds to mobs. And I use Assassin Signets for an extra 180 power. As you can see right now, my base power is 2,917. I do have food, power and power food. And my HP is 15,100 with an armor 2,400 almost. And crit damage of 213. So this is with full Zergers and 2 soldier trinkets. This is the baseline Thief setup. We expect you to do damage and take Defiance off. Also, when we need to, take a Shadow Refuge for the team to do a stealth res, or take a radiation field to give weakness to a boss, although you already apply it, and some other stuff. You can change your utilities. There will be Thief videos posted on my YouTube channel explaining what to do at certain stages. Example, Dredge, Jade Maw, Cliffside, etc. Those will be posted later in separate sections. This is just the baseline Thief setup for Fractals that we expect you to run. And that, have a good one.